I have this memory of waking up and see the doctor and see his face completely smashed. Man, the guy was tired, man. The guy was really tired. You look like this guy was waking. He was doing an ultra race for 3 days, no sleep.
I can imagine.
And then I'm in the public oncology hospital in Portugal, which is not a nice place to be, as you can imagine, right? I'm in a ward with 3 more people. I think was one guy with last stage of prostate cancer, like 70 years old, and next to me there's a guy with maybe 20 years old with a really latest stage of skin cancer, and not even can take the bed sheet on top of his skin. And that,
unbelievable.
And it was like 4 or 5 nurses in the morning to give him a bath, and I just want to get out of there, right? Because mind-wise, you don't want to be in that place. You feel empathy for that people. Of course, you are there. But it's tough. So, in a moment, I was able to walk. My running shoes were on, and I was walking in the corridor all the time. I was not staying in a bed. I need to stay sometimes because you still have this. I'm not sure the right technical name, but there is still blood coming out of the hole of the surgery, and you need to keep some hours of the day laying down. And you spend 8 days there. So it was intense. But you just keep bulletproof. I remember my friends at the time were amazing. Every day I had like 7 or 8 guys there. They create like a WhatsApp chain on sending videos every day of celebrating myself and pushing. And that was really a good help. I remember doing cheers with the juice, and they were having beers and outside, right? And that was really... a good moment.
It's very powerful. I'm finding that increasingly to help people and also sometimes to help myself with my mum. You know, we speak pretty much every day, and it's actually made me wonder, because I think for a time, you know, I could go. And maybe this is wrong as well, mate. I could go 2 or 3 weeks without chatting to my parents, and you know, some messages here and there, and that would be enough. Yeah. And we're both fine with it. But this, you know, now talking to mum literally every day on video calls, and you know, she's out walking, sending me videos, and of course the camera's pointing at the floor, but that's a whole different thing.
that will never change.
It will never change, mate. And
even if
it's a super powerful tool, that we're able to send video. I think the power in a message is strong. The power in a voice note can be stronger.
Right.
The power in a video of seeing, like you said, your friends, cheers my orange juice, cheers to your beers or whatever.
Yeah, to speed recovery. And
that must have been huge for you.
It was huge, man. It was big help, definitely. And every day there was 4 or 5 guys there, and I think there was 2 times they can visit, and I spent just 4 or 5 hours with them outside the ward.
Yeah.
I remember it was my ex-wife's birthday also, so I get someone to buy her a small bag and give her when she came to the hospital for the visit.
Yeah.
Try to make the best out of it. And my mind was already, I need to move out, I need to recover. So I was just walking on the ward. I remember.
Was it a mindset of, okay, the surgery is done, I'm good now?
Was not quite that, because doctor said in the next 6 months, I need to see you every month, and we need to do a PET scan every 6 months in the first 3 years.
Yeah.
Because we need to see if there is no kind of infected cells in your body. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but they inject you like a kind of a sugar content inside, and your body becomes bright inside. Yeah, then you put it inside the scanner.
In the scanner,
exactly. So the follow-up was really tight. I remember asking him, because I had this offer letter on the table at the time to come to Dubai, and I said, can I go? And he said, no, you can't. In the next 6 months, you're not going anywhere. You need to be next to me. Really? After 6 months, let's talk about it. So I remember postponing the offer I had from here.
Wow.
It was good. My mind was okay with that. My job at the time was amazing, and my managers or the owners of the club I was managing at the time in the airport, they were very, really understanding. So it was good. That part was not a concern, which is good. And I remember, I think 1 or 2 days before coming out of the hospital, that the physio comes in, right? I said, well, and I remember what this guy now is telling me about physio, right? and the guy said, no, you know what? Now you go home. There's a big risk of edema in your arm.
Yeah.
You need to be very careful. You cannot ever in your life lift weights more than 2 kilos above your head. And I said, sure. And I know my mind was, what this guy knows about me, man? This guy knows nothing.
Yeah.
I'm going to lift much more than 2 kilos, so no worries. And then I'm leaving the hospital and I need to have another week of physio or something because my arm is really small and weak. And I jump into probably one of the most humble moments of my life. I jump in a physiotherapy room with 15 women that just did breast cancer surgery. So it's me with 33 old, healthy, fit guy with women from all age, superwoman. That woman are superwoman, but like in their 60s. And I'm doing that, holding my hand with a rope and pulling it down, this basic stuff. But the environment was amazing there. I don't know how to explain. I think about it, and the environment was amazing. You have this fantastic woman fighting for their life after breast surgery, kind of similar because it's a armpit removal of the lymphoma, so the recovery is kind of similar. I'm there. I think I'm recovered in 3 days, and of course, the lifestyle they have is a bit different, so they take more time. But it was an amazing experience. I remember feeling grateful to be there with that.
Yeah,
sharing that same space of that battle that women do daily.
It's interesting, right? Because there's obviously a lot of thoughts and feelings for people around, especially around cancer, but more around illness. And we've got almost a conflicting scenario because you wake up in a ward or in the hospital where, like you said, the guys and the guy with almost terminal skin cancer, and you're like, get me out of here. This is not the right environment. And then a few days or a few weeks later, you go to rehab and you see all these, in this scenario, ladies, it could be guys that have suffered, and it's so uplifting.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful on both sides of it, but it's so conflicting at the same time, because in 1 minute you're like, get me the fuck out of here, and then the next minute you're like, I'm so grateful to be here.
Yeah.
I think as a race with illness and wellness, we can somehow come closer together and leverage each other's positives, and therefore support each other in the tough times as well, because we can I'm taking so much from what you're sharing, and I'm sure people are as well. I take so much from my mum's case and from a lot of the different sort of cancer cases that I've been exposed to over the last few years, that it's almost like maybe this, and I remember one good friend of mine says, like, everything's a message. Maybe this is a message, and maybe it is like, those ladies don't need to be on their own. And so, the way that you put it as a 33-year-old guy going in, and like, it must have been, it's wild, mate.
Yeah. Well, I think you kind of frame it in a nice way, because it's a mixed feelings, but at the same time, I have my both hands. The surgery went well.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a small thing in the surgery that didn't go so well. So one of my veins broke in my armpit, so they need to put a stent. So after that, I need to take aspirin for all my life on a daily basis to keep my blood in. I said, okay, that's I can live with that. I can live with that.
Yeah.
But it was humble, but at the same time, I'm here, right? So I'm recovered stage with these people that are all recovered. We went all through the same, and we are fighting in this together.
How does that feel now, mate? You're 10 years.
Almost nine this October.
Years, yeah.
So
there's certain sort of checkpoints or defined points of when you're in remission or when you're not, and when you're cured. What's the?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Like, do you wake up some mornings in fear that it's coming back? Is it just something that happened? Where's your head at with it?
Yeah. So the 10 years will be the technical time to be completely clean of disease. The 5 years you are almost there, they say. But so it's coming in October 2024. But to be honest, after this first stage, I never thought about it anymore.
Really?
It comes to my mind maybe very rare when I see someone that goes through the same. But I think, as I told you in the beginning, I locked in my heart and my emotions in a box with maybe 3 locks. Probably was my way to deal with that. I'm not sure if it was the best, because after that, definitely I'm a different person.
Yeah.
I'm 100% a different person. Probably a little bit more selfish on the way I want to live my life, and the way I see. Because your life goes completely in perspective, right? Right? So you are healthy, you have time to do everything you want, and suddenly maybe you don't. So what are you going to do with your life, right? You want to, if something happened to you tomorrow, did you live the life you wanted or not, right? Yeah. And that thought comes to my mind a lot.
Still now?
Less now. But the way I see life, it still remains after that. The way I want to challenge myself, not accepting any kind of limits, physical or mind, that still is with me. So every year I need to do at least 2 challenges that scare me at hell, and I'm not sure if I can do it. I'm gonna sign for it, and I'll just go on it. And then find what's there in the end of the challenge. And that is something I started immediately after that, moving to Dubai. I never rode a bike road. I never rode a bike, or I never swam. I think I was 25 years I never swam, and suddenly I just signed for an Ironman here. And I said, "What the fuck are you doing? You're signing for an Ironman." We can swear on the podcast, right?
You can say whatever you want on this show, mate. But do you not think you had this personality that was like, you're action man, mate. You're an action man. You always got stuff done, from what I understand before, and to play handball in the level that you played, to start the career that you started, to go into this thing with the mindset that you had. Do you not think some of those things would have happened anyway?
I'm not sure. Maybe. But 100% I'll not push my limits maybe that far.
Yeah.
Probably I'll be a bit more on the safe side. Maybe I'll not sign for a 70 kilometers race. I'll sign for a 30, and go maybe a little bit slower. I don't know.
So how can, what I'm trying to get is, I would hate anyone else. Some other people will go through similar things. Other idiots will ride their bikes and get hit by trucks. It will happen.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
not idiots, but I am. What can you say to those people, mate, to get them to sign up? That example's awesome. To get them to sign up for the 70K as opposed to the 30K, whether it's bike, run, swim, fly, whatever. No, don't swim 30 or 70K. But how can you let people live the life, or encourage people to live this life that you're living, that will sign up for the 70 without having to go through something like this?
Yeah. I think it's not settle for the ordinary, you know. Life is too short to be average, I guess. You know, people settle for being average, being in their couch, watching their night shows, and they don't know what's there. They don't know their limits. They don't know what they can do. And I really, if you're not doing some stuff that scared you a bit, you're not growing. You just stay completely flat. And then probably when you reach 50 or 60, you look back and there's nothing much done, or you didn't find who you are, right? That after these 10 hours or 12 hours or endurance or whatever, you are another person, right? In the end of that, and you know much more than me, that after these 30 or 40 hours stuff you do, you are a different person. There's so many things going through your mind. And that battles that you fight on that challenge, they teach you life, right? They teach you how to deal with business, how to deal with family, how to deal with all the decision making you need to. Probably I did so many decisions on that moments while you are there with just you and your thoughts, right? There's so many ideas coming through, so many. So I would say it's really get out of your comfort zone, right? Really push yourself to see what you can do.